Hi, I want to run an idea by you, something I've been thinking about since I wrote my book. What if there's only one thing that keeps us from being happy? And that one thing is that we're fighting for our lives. You know, we grow up in childhood contexts that create rules and expectations for us in order to get along in the context we live in. You know, our parents, our teachers, our mentors, our ministers, our friends, our surroundings, our community, and then later on our peers and colleagues and our intimate partners. And all those settings create rules or expectations that tell us how to be in order to get along and to survive in those contexts. Even in childhood, whether you're a little boy or a little girl, there were things that you were told you should be and do, right, in order to be a strong, courageous man or a kind and nice and beautiful woman, all for us to be, feel loved and accepted. And so those rules that we learned in those various contexts, they shaped us and molded us, and they told us how to be. But in fact, they're not always useful for becoming our true selves. And so when that happens, we don't individuate in the various contexts of our lives. There's phases as a toddler or a child or a teenager or a young adult, or, some of us haven't really individuated as mature adults. And so what happens is these insidious rules, the ones we can't see, create these expectations that we live by that keep us from being ourselves. So this internal tension we feel to be ourselves as opposed to the rules and expectations that were created for us causes us to fight for our life. And so this internal tension, fighting for your life, might look like stress and burnout and overcommitment and exhaustion, and it might actually even create depression and some kind of health issue. It might create suffering in your relationships with others and with yourself. And it definitely creates some dissatisfaction and meaninglessness. So what do we do to stop fighting for our lives? Well, I've uncovered there are 3 things that we can do. And the first is that we need to become ourselves. We need to figure out who we really are, right? Who is that essential self that may have been shut down in childhood or some other context that we lived in? So who are you? Who is that true self that you are? What is your purpose? What is the purposeful life that you came to live? And the second thing is uncovering these shadow selves, the voices that said, be this and do that in order to be loved and accepted. So what are those voices? And what are the messages they actually came to help us learn in this lifetime that we need to integrate to be our full selves? So these fractured subpsychic parts in psychotherapeutic language actually serve us in some way. So it's useful to get to know the shadow parts of us. And then the third thing is to begin to take small, bold, courageous steps into our future, into the future of who we really are. And we can do this. We actually can be ourselves and stop fighting for our lives. So if that's interesting to you, if you would like to explore that, I'd love to support you in that. I've been doing this with clients for 35 years, people from all walks of life, helping them gain clarity about who they are, helping them integrate those fractured shadow selves, and taking small, bold, courageous steps into their future. And if that interests you, contact me at hollywoodscoaching.com and set up a strategy session. I'd love to hear your story.